And logo was that experience in the beginning for students, and of course in the gifted program we were using it all the time, and then kind of taken away.
What would you say you learned during your years about human nature?
Well, humans throughout history are always in need of the same things, and I think what was given to me in my first experiences as a teacher through the parochial school experience was leaders that cared and supported, and I knew teachers flourished when they felt that. And in the public system, when I had certain principles that continued, and if you didn't have that kind of leadership, the individual teacher who needs all the support in the world, especially the classroom teacher, and I was out of that setting for my public years, makes a difference. And whether it's the superintendent of the district, and we had some that were very personable and some that were lacking in that area. And then when I was in the prison, I had a very supportive supervisor, and the setting there gave us mostly the freedom to do what we felt was good for the job.
Was there anyone that you ever encountered that was simply unteachable?
Unteachable? No. I think everybody could benefit through the proper exposure and support to learning something. I had a couple women in the prison who were below the GED level of success, but wanted to learn, so I did have them in class. They learned, but they were probably a long way, if ever, capable of getting a GED.
Throughout your career, you pointed to Providence to continue leading you back. First off, I wanted to ask, when you were going into the prison, was it somewhat because you missed education?
Unconsciously, yes, but I was always doing something in my parish. I've been working in adult education in the parish since 1983, so almost 30 years now. So I've always had an educational happening. And
what role has, throughout all parts of your career, what role has religion, your Catholic faith, have they driven you?
I'd say that's, yeah, the reason for my attitude in life, which hopefully is positive for the most part. Got to deal with the reality sometimes, and that I'm not negative at all, but yeah, I'd say that is because I know I'm just passing through, and I hopefully experience all that God is through the encounters that He presents to me, and that's the providence. You know, looking back, I don't know if I would have changed anything really, but yeah, I might have wished I could have gone to Annapolis if I could do it all over again if I weren't diabetic. That changed that possibility. I think as a high school student, I was leaning in that direction then, but midway junior year in school, I became type 1 diabetic, and my father died at the same time, and that changed. So I wouldn't have qualified probably for the academy. I never pursued it any further then, and that was...
So did that alter your plans completely, or you didn't really have specific things?
I didn't have specific things then. I went into the seminary actually after high school, but I was only there for a year. And then when I came out, I had an interest in horse racing, harness racing in particular. So I figured, well, I'll be a veterinarian. So to be a veterinarian, I went to college first for pre-vet, and I
didn't like it.
Didn't like that. It was just the laboratory life that didn't appeal to me.
Because?
Because it was not
interactive
socially, and so I guess that's when I was drawn to something I always liked, and that's history. That's human stories. It's accent on story. the
And-
word history, not his story, but all the stories of life.
So in the grand scheme of history, taking that as, what would you hope your legacy would be? You spent your entire time impacting people. What do you think your legacy will be? Or what do you hope it will be?
Well, I don't know if I'm worried about the legacy part as much as, I guess, the gift that has been given to me. I mean, that's my legacy, is appreciating all the gifts of every day, and all my previous years I know have been gift, and that's the providence that I referred to in the beginning. And I'm just ever thankful. So spring is coming, and that's what's neat about life, the cycles. And I guess for the women in prison, there's so much of cycles, but you want to make sure that the cycles are appreciated. Thank goodness spring is coming, even though we just feared we were going to have inches of snow a week or so ago. And but we get through that, and we can grow beyond that. And so I guess I just have to put emphasis on being thankful. And so what I'm leaving behind, I hopefully, is an attitude of appreciation, be grateful for all that is and what's yet to come. If I had to start out thinking I would end up where I am, I could never have predicted that. And don't think I would ever even aimed in any of those directions. So in spite of me, things happened.
All right.
More than because of me.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, you're
That's
welcome.
everything.
Good. Holy cow. The front's